Today is August 9th, 2007. I am Cassie Potasic, and it is a pleasure to conduct this interview for the Dakota Memories Oral History Project in Richardson, North Dakota. Can you please tell me your whole name?
My name is Paul A. Hauck.
What does the A stand for?
Alex.
When and where were you born?
I was born in Richardson, North Dakota, and my birthday is the 10th month, the 19th, 21.
All right. Have you ever heard an interesting story about your birth?
No, I don't think I did.
Do you know if there was a midwife or a doctor present?
There must have been a midwife, yeah.
Can you share your earliest memory with us?
The what?
The earliest memory that you have?
Well, I don't know which way. There was a lot of memories, I guess, but we were always little kids. We were hauling, the folks were hauling bundles. And I was a little, I suppose I must have been 3-4 years old. And as the horses were standing there, for some reason I come tickle the horse's foot and he kicked me, he broke my shoulder. And that I remember pretty good.
Did you go see a doctor for that?
No, they just took me to some midwife to set the bone, and that healed by itself.
Was there ever an occasion to go to a doctor when you were a child?
Yeah, I had a big accident. I must have been about 7 years old. My dad was going to take me down to get some horses from a field. And we was in a GMC truck. And as he turned, the fence was pretty close. As he turned a corner, I must have hit the doorknob, and I flew out into this fence. And I broke my foot down here, and I cut the wires cut. So then he turned around and took me back home, and I spent a lot of time in the hospital after that. Yeah. Yeah.
Was there any other times when you needed to see a doctor?
Well, I don't know. Not till up to I got into the CCC camp.
Oh, okay.
And then, well, I took kind of sick there, and they put me in on special care for 2 weeks, and that was all there was to that one, I guess. Yeah, I spent about 18 months in the CCC camp. Yeah, with the boys. Yeah.
Can you tell me about that experience with the CCCs?
Well, the work we done, we worked on the North Unit, the Roosevelt Park, that connects up with Medora. And we were making the road out. We was going to connect these two roads, but we never did get the job done. Yeah. And we were, I was a stonemasoner. I was chiseling rocks to make a face on them, to make these entrance gates and stuff. Yeah.
And that was during the 30s?
That was in 35. Until, well, it must have been 37 by the time I got out of there. And then I worked for my folks till 42. And my uncle called me and says, "You come this way." So I honored my uncle and went to the service. And there I spent, must have been 3 years, a month and 14 days in the service. Over in, we took the Aleutian Islands first. Attu and Kiska, Adak. And from there, they figured we should have a rest, which we did agree. We went to Hawaii. Yeah. And we rested for about 6 weeks the first time. And then we head out for the Marshall Islands. We took the Marshall Islands, and then we even put up some barracks on the Marshall Islands. But then they said, we got to go back and rest up again. So we went back to Hawaii again. And from there, we spent about 42 days on a ship, getting to the location which was in the Philippines, Leyte Island. We took that. And I took sick in there. I don't know, they claimed I had a liver fluke. They sent me to New Guinea. I was over in New Guinea for 2 weeks, and they says, you're in sick. So they sent me back to the outfit, and the outfit was ready to head to Okinawa. So that's what we done. We hit Okinawa. And that's where the war ended after we took Okinawa. And then they threw all these bombs over there. And of course, I didn't have enough points to come home. So they set the outfit as going to Korea, and that's where you're going to have to end up at. So that's where I ended up at. And I guess I spent about 6 weeks in Korea. And then I hid for Fort Lewis, Washington for my discharge papers. And there I got discharged. So that was all of the service business.
Do you remember anything else about the war?
Well, there's a lot of memories which I don't like to talk about. Yeah. But after that, things went pretty well. I come home and found a wife, and we got married, and that's about it.
And how did you meet her?
Oh, there was a grape dance in Gladstone, and she was with her cousin. So that's where we met at Gladstone at a grape dance. Yeah. They had grapes hanging up, and we had to get grab some grapes. Or that's a long time ago. Yeah.
How long did you date each other before you got married?
Well, not too long. I come home in 45, in fall of 45 in October. And then we got married in June 11th in 46.
Can you tell me about your wedding?
Well, we had a big wedding. I guess we had 3 best men and 3 bridesmaids. And in them days, you had 3 meals. No, 2 meals. It was dinner and supper. And then we had a big dance. And there was a lot of excitement there because I had an aunt that had a heart attack, and she had a sister that had a baby that day. So there was a lot of excitement. Yeah.
Did you go on a honeymoon?
Yeah, we went. And we had her sister and her aunt, which was a nun, went with us on the honeymoon. We went to Billings, Montana, and then we went out to Yellowstone.
So you went to Billings and then to Yellowstone?
Yeah, and then I had a sister in Tacoma, Washington. We visited her. We left a nun in Billings, and the sister we still took along, and then she had an uncle in Castle Rock, Washington, that we visited. Yeah.
Is there anything else you remember about your wedding?
No, I guess that was. We had a big dance and had a good time. Yeah.
Were there any money dances for the bride and groom? Anything like that?
Gee, there was, but I don't remember that much about it anymore. But
Okay.
yeah.
Well then, can you tell me about your family growing up? What were your parents like?
Oh, my parents were. They were pretty rough. You had them in business. I mean, everything had to go the way they said it. And they were pretty strict. Yeah.
What was your father's name?
Alex Hauck.
Can you tell me more about him?
Well, they come from Russia. It's German Russian. And, I don't know. He demanded things that had to be done. Otherwise, yeah.
Did you ever hear stories about the crossing from Russia?
I don't think so. He was in in the Russian army. But I don't know how long or whatever.
All right. Were you close to his parents at all?
Well, my grandma was awful close to me. We usually went in there Sundays and had something to eat. She made awful good meals. Yeah.
What was her name?
Cecilia Hauck.
Was she a religious person?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was Catholic. Yeah.
Did you ever stay with her?
No, I don't think I ever stayed in with her. I don't think so.
Okay. How about your mother's parents? Were you close to them?
Yeah, we were fairly close. They only lived about a mile and a half from our place. And when I was a little guy, I remember Grandma always had a big garden. And it seemed like they sat me right in the middle of this garden. And they had these little nipple tomatoes. And I think I ate too many, because I don't like tomatoes anymore.
What else do you remember about your grandparents?
Gee, Grandpa, I didn't remember hardly at all. He died in 2027, so I could have been about six years old, I suppose, but I don't remember too much.
Is that your mother's father?
Yeah.
Do you remember the funeral at all?
No, I really don't.
Then can you tell me about your mother?
She was a very nice person. She worried about everybody. And I think she must have prayed that I come out of the service without being harmed. And she must have done a good job, because I never had a scratch on me by the bullet. Never did.
What was her name?
Matilda.
Can you describe your relationship with your parents?
Well, I think we were awful close, because I remember I was only 15 when I went out to the CCC camp, and that was very hard for me to leave home. And well, they didn't have no money to come out and see me, and they put me out there in October. And then in May, I figured I should go home and visit them. So I got ready after work, Friday after work. And I figured I'm going to go home one way or the other. So I went out to the road, and hitchhiked. I caught a ride into Dickinson. And from there, I had a sister working in the Dickinson Hospital, so I went up to visit her. And I was there maybe about 20 minutes, and I figured I gotta go because it's gonna get dark. So I went downtown, and I called a salesman, and he took me home. Yeah, he was going to Fargo, but he turned off in Richard and took me 15 miles north of Richard. You want to try that nowadays?
Yeah, it wouldn't work out so well.
Yeah.
Were your parents excited to see you?
Yeah, they were. Yeah. Yeah.
How long did you get to stay home?
Just over the weekend. Yeah. They took me back up there. Well, no, my brothers took me back up. Yeah.
How many children were there in your family?
13.
Wow. Can you tell me their names in birth order?
Yeah, the oldest sister was Kate. And the second sister was Sally. And the third sister was Elizabeth. And then come Leo. And then myself. And then Bill. And then Ben. And then come Hilda. And Emma. And Anton. And George. Leonard. And Norbert. That's quite a gang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who were you closest to? Which one of your siblings?
My brother Bill.
Can you tell me about Bill?
Well, we spent a lot of time together because he was closest to me. And but he didn't live too long. He got to be 37 years old is all I was. He was married and he died in 71. So that was the closest brother I had. Of course, the others were pretty close too.
Did you all get along well?
Yeah, we got along pretty good.
What kinds of things did you do for fun together?
Oh, I suppose the biggest thing was we didn't have no like a bathtub or something like that. So the easiest thing it was to go down the river and take a bath. So we went down the river and we had a lot of fun together that way. Yeah.
What kinds of games did you play?
I don't remember too many games because we usually played cards. we rode a lot of horses. Yeah, to the neighbors and stuff. Instead of these guys nowadays, they got cars they can drive to the neighbors and stuff. But we rode horses. See, yeah, had a lot of fun that way. Yeah.
Did you often visit neighbors as a family?
Yeah, we often did. At least twice a week.
And what kinds of things did you do when you went visiting?
Well, we played cards, and a lot of times we just sat and visited too.
Do you remember what card games you played?
Oh, Pinochle was a big one. And then Duracle was, I guess, the first card game I learned, but I don't remember it anymore. And then Whist. And that, I don't know, took about care of that visiting business.
Were there any other occasions for visiting neighbors, like names days or anything?
Oh yeah, for the uncles usually had the Christmas. Well, Christmas I guess we usually spend home. But then Uncle John had St. John's. And there were 3 uncles right close. See, so we visited. I don't remember exactly which day we visited, but each one had a certain day when we visited for Christmas.
Can you
family.
talk about your uncles?
Well, they were living close by, and we done a lot of visiting together that way. They were all nice people. Yeah.
Did you have a favorite?
No, I guess they were about all the same.
Did you have a favorite cousin?
Cousin? I guess I did, yeah. It was Angie Flink. She was the same age I was. But we didn't get together too much.
Can you tell me more about her?
Well, I was the same age, and as they tell me, I usually walked around the yard with my arm around her, and we were together quite a bit. And then, well, as we grew up, well, her family moved west, so everything kind of disappeared. A lot of families split up that way during the 30s. And they were one of the family that this kind of, I guess they went out to Washington and this kind of disappeared.
Is there anything else you can tell me about your extended family?
But what?
Your extended family? Aunts and uncles and cousins?
Well, I don't know. There were a lot of them. Like in the Berger family, there was there must have been six girls and 3 boys. On the Burger side. And then I had one Uncle John Hauck and one Uncle John Burger. And they lived pretty close together. So we had to watch out what uncle we was talking about. Yeah.
Alright. Is there anything else you can tell me about your parents?
Gee, I really don't remember too much.
Alright. Well, you had mentioned that you usually celebrated Christmas at home.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about Christmas celebrations?
Well, each one got a little gift, and it wasn't much. I remember when apples or oranges, you'd get an apple or an orange, you wouldn't get both. And that's about the only time of the year you get the apples or oranges. And that's about how we spend our Christmas, I guess. There was enough people there to really talk about mostly anything, I guess. But yeah. 13 of them is quite a bunch. Yeah. Of course, my oldest sister, she left when she was, I think she was 19. And that made the family a little smaller. But I think I was pretty close to the oldest sister, too. She was pretty nice.
Was it hard when she left?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah, she eloped. She took off without the parents knowing it. Yeah, that was kind of hard. Yeah, for the parents too. And the rest of them, I think, was kind of a normal marriage through the rest of the family. Yeah. Yeah, Bill was the only one that we really lost. Well, no, there was Sally. Sally, she died before we got married even. She was only, well, she could have been about 26, 27. Yeah, she was married to Ray Warner, and I don't know, for some reason she had a heart attack and she died. She had one child, which was Donnie Warner. But he turned out pretty good. He joined the Marines, and he got married to a gal from California. So they are doing pretty good. They're still out in Seattle someplace. Yeah, they are raising a family too. Yeah. Yeah. And I guess that's about the end of the family, I mean, as far as I know.
All right. Well, can you tell me more about family celebrations then? Do you celebrate other holidays?
Well, mostly it's, there were a lot of weddings. You know, there were a lot of cousins and a lot of weddings as far as that goes. And the first ones, they got married at home. Well, they got married in the church, but then they had the celebration in the home. Yeah. And they usually had a dance and a big orchestra, and that was always a lot of fun. Yeah.
What else do you remember about weddings?
Well, I don't know. Some things I shouldn't remember, I guess. Yeah, well, I don't know. Can't remember too much anymore.
Right. How about birthdays?
Yeah, we usually had birthdays, and each one got a little something for her. My 25th birthday, I had just gotten married, and the folks-in-law, they gave me a big socket set. I was kind of in farming and a lot of mechanic work, and they gave me a big socket set, which I really enjoyed. And I still got the socket set. That was in, well, it must have been 47 when I turned 25. Yeah.
Do you remember anything else about birthday celebrations when you were growing up?
Not really.
Did family come over? Extended family?
Yeah, usually the families got together, you know, the immediate family. The cousins and stuff, they usually don't. On a birthday, there were too many of them. Yeah.
Did you have cakes?
Oh yeah, we had to have a birthday cake. Had to blow the candles out. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember any of the other gifts you received for your birthday growing up?
Gee, I really don't. We really didn't get too much in them days, you know. And we got a little something like cake or something. That's about birthday, but there were too many. Yeah. Yeah, my folks were poor. They didn't. That's the reason I was in the CCC camp. You see, I got $5 a month there, and the folks got $30, and that kept the family going. Yeah.
How about celebrating Easter? Did you celebrate that at home?
Well, yeah. We usually went to church, and we didn't have too much celebration for Easter, but now that you mentioned Easter, that's the day we took Okinawa on Easter Day. It's, I guess we was gonna surprise the Japs and tell them they figured we ain't gonna do that on Easter Day, and we did. Yeah. Other than that, I don't remember Easter too much.
All right. Do you remember any other holidays like Thanksgiving or the 4th of July?
Yeah, the 4th of July, we usually went to a rodeo someplace.
Did you enjoy rodeos?
Yeah, we really did. Yeah.
Do you remember any details about those times?
No. Well, we had a neighbor that was a saddle bronc rider, you know, and that we always kept track of him, I guess.
Anything else about rodeos or the 4th?
No, I guess that's about it.
Did you and your siblings ever try to pull any of those rodeo stunts with your own horses?
Yeah, many times, but that didn't work. No, we didn't have really a saddle for our horses or anything, because we rode them bareback, and as kids, we were too small to jump on that horse. So I remember we lead him up against the fence and get on the fence and jump on the horse. That's how we got on. Yeah, we done a lot of sheep herding and cattle herding with horses. Yeah, we knew quite a bit about horses.
Did you keep a lot of them?
Yeah, to start with, we usually had about 20 horses for the farm, but we didn't have no tractor. So after we got a tractor, I guess we cut it down to about 10 of them.
Do you remember the first tractor you got?
Yeah, that was what was the name of that thing? Well, international, I remember the most, I guess. But we had a hard power tractor to start with.
Did that make your life easier, getting a tractor?
Oh, yeah. And we thought that was fun. Yeah. We just sit on there and get a ride. Yeah, we walked behind them horses many, many days. In a plowed field, you harrowed, you had 4 horses, and you walked behind the harrow. Yeah, a lot of days.
So you used horses for plowing and planting?
Yeah. And for hauling bundle teams. I guess I had my own bundle team when I was 13 years old. I had 2 horses and a hay rack. I was hauling bundles like the big guys. Yeah. Yeah.
were some of your other outside chores that you had to help with?
Well, fixing fences and milking cows, taking care of the horses, comb them and get them ready for the fields. And I get to make the hay for the horses and stuff like that.
Did you keep a lot of cows?
No, we only had about 15 head, and most of them were milk cows. We made our own, had our own milk and butter and cream. Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
remember making butter?
Oh, yeah, many times.
How did you do that?
Most of the time, shaking a jar till you got butter. Yeah.
Do you remember any other chores you had to help with?
Gee, I don't. I guess that's about all the chores we had at the time.
Which were the chores that you most hated to do?
Manure the barn. Yeah, that was always a dirty job. Yeah.
Which ones didn't you mind doing?
Oh, I didn't mind going, getting the cows with the horses and stuff like that, running up the horses and stuff like that to get them ready for. I always liked to work with horses, seemed like.
Did you have a favorite horse growing up?
Well, yeah, I guess I did have a team that I had. Hauling bundles, a favorite.
Do you remember their names?
Yeah, it was Prince and Princess. Yeah.
Did you have any pets growing up?
Anyone?
Pets? Like a dog or cat?
Yeah, we had some dogs. Yeah, we had a German Shepherd that was pretty close. He helped us herd the sheep all the time. We'd put the sheep out in the pasture, and that was 3 miles away from home. And we put a snow fence around them and put the dog up there, and he took care of the coyotes and stuff, so they wouldn't harm the sheep. Yeah.
Were there any things you had to help with inside the house?
No, I guess I wasn't. There was enough sisters there to where I didn't.
Is there anything else you remember about chores you had to do growing up?
Did what?
Anything else you remember about chores?
No, not really.
Right. Then can you tell me about school when you were growing up?
School?
Yeah.
I can tell you I didn't like it. And I didn't get very far in it. Yeah, we walked about 3 miles to school. And I only got to about the 3rd grade, too. So,
Did you have to stay home a lot to help on the farm?
yeah. Yeah. During spring's work and stuff like that.
Did you have a good teacher when you were there?
Yeah, I think the teachers were okay. My trouble was I wasn't very good. The teachers were really nice. We had good teachers, but you see, I grew up in a family that I didn't know no English. German is all I knew. And that put me back, well, it was about 3 years for sure that I didn't know anything about. Yeah. I think that was the worst thing.
So your whole family spoke German while you were at
Yeah.
home?
My mother never did learn English. Yeah, we German all the time.
Right. Was it a one-room school?
Yeah.
How many kids were usually there?
Oh, there was usually about 10 of them, 10 or 12.
What's your favorite memory about school?
I guess I really don't have any favors about school.
Right. Did you ever have Christmas parties at school or Valentine's parties?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about those?
Well, they had pie socials and stuff like that. I guess the girls would make the pies and the boys would have to buy them. Yeah, that was kind of fun. That way you got to eat with your favorite girlfriend. Yeah.
How did you get to school?
We walked 3 miles.
Did you ever get a ride?
Well, in the wintertime when it was real cold, we had there was a barn up in the school, by the school, and we'd take a team of horses and drive up there and then leave the horses there over the daytime, and then at night we'd bring them home. Yeah.
What did you bring for lunches at school?
Lunch? Oh, that's mostly butter and jelly sandwiches. Choke cherry jelly and butter sandwiches.
And then at home, what were some of your favorite meals?
Oh, that was the different story. That was cheese buttons and all kinds of good. Ma, she was a good cook with something like that. She baked 12 loaves of bread every 3 days. So she was a good cook, a good baker. And she always had a good cake or for dessert.
What were some of your other favorite foods?
Oh, I don't know. Well,
Were there special foods that were made just for celebrations?
pardon?
Were there special foods that were made only for celebrations?
Well, that would have been cake, you know, and stuff like that. Yeah. And pies. She baked a lot of pies. Yeah.
Did your family do a lot of canning or curing their own meats?
Yeah. Yeah, Ma always had a lot of canned stuff. And choke cherry jelly. We'd go all over in the fall of the year and try and find some choke cherries. A lot of times we'd come home with, we had these 10-gallon cream cans. Usually had 2 of them full of choke cherries. And a lot of times we'd get into some plums too. And she'd make jelly out of that. And a lot of kuha, like apple kuha and yeah, case kuha. Yeah. Yeah, that's about all I can think of.
Did your family do their own butchering?
Doing what?
Their own butchering?
Yeah. Yeah, they always had, in the fall of the year, we had a big butchering day. Usually butchered four pigs. And then we usually had a steer butchered. Made sausage and we cured our own hams and bacons. So we had enough of that stuff for the winter. And for flour, we didn't get to town very often, so we usually had 500 pounds of flour upstairs to hold us through the winter. Yeah.
Do you remember anything else about Butchering Day?
Well, usually the uncles would get together when we were small, and the uncles would help the butchering. They help each other. Yeah. And the neighbors.
You said you made sausage.
Oh, yeah. Sausage and head cheese and blood sausage and liver sausage. Blood sausage was the best.
Do you remember how you made that?
Oh, yeah. First of all, you had to clean the intestines. You had to clean all the intestines, the stomach, and everything to put the sausage into. And that's all we ever used. So that is quite a job, cleaning all that. But they done a good job. Yeah. The blood sausage, you usually had the heart and the liver. Not the liver, the liver. Make liver sausage. And the kidneys. went into the blood sausage, and then you usually had about a half a gallon of blood, which you took from the pig before when you stamped it. Usually somebody had to stir the blood so it doesn't stiffen up. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember anything else about butchering?
No, I don't know.
Can you tell me about Sundays at your house?
Sundays?
Yep.
Well, usually, a lot of times we'd go to church at 6 o'clock. We'd be in church at 6 o'clock in the morning. So we'd go to confession and then we'd go to Holy Communion at 6 o'clock in the morning. And after we come home, we'd have big breakfast, have some of that good blood sausage and sausage. And then in the afternoons, well, we still had our chores to do, you know. And a lot of times we'd go, in the wintertime, we'd go out sled riding, make our own sled and go out sled riding. And horseback riding.
What was church like when you were growing up?
Church? It's about the same as it is now, only we had church real early. Instead of nowadays, we got church at 10 o'clock. There we had church at 6 o'clock. Well, we had 15 miles to go to church. So that took an hour to get to church. So we had to get up pretty early.
What were the seating arrangements like in church? Did you sit with your family?
Yeah, mostly. Yeah. Well, the men folks sat on one side and the women folks on the other. For some reason, I don't know why that was. But we usually sat together as the men folks, and yeah. Which nowadays it's everything mixed, you know. Yeah. Whatever.
Do you remember your first communion?
Yeah, that was pretty nice. Yeah.
Can you tell
I remember I went to, I had to go to sister school, so I had to go board in at my uncle's place to go to sister school. So I had before I made my first Holy Communion. So, yeah.
Do you remember what the actual ceremony was like?
Well, we had a sponsor, and then of course we just went up to Holy Communion, and yeah, that's about all there is to that. And we were pretty proud of it, you know, when it got done. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything else you remember about church growing up?
No, I guess that was about all.
Was it important to your family?
Oh yeah, very important. Yeah, they didn't they didn't miss any Sundays going to church.
Well then, what was your most stressful childhood memory?
I don't know. I suppose during the war, yeah, on the ships and stuff like that, I guess I was on about 17 different ships, which carried us to from Ireland to Ireland, and the training, all the training we done, it's pretty stressful.
All right. What was your happiest childhood memory?
Gee, I really don't. I suppose maybe getting a new sister or new brother.
What was that like?
Well, they usually had a woman come in for the doctor instead of a doctor, and then we'd always wait to see whether it's going to be a boy or a girl. Yeah.
Do you remember anything else about that?
No, that's about all I can remember of it.
Okay. What was the most adventurous thing you did as a child?
Boy, oh boy. I really don't know what it could have been. I'm sure there were some adventurous things, but I just don't think of it right now.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to share about your childhood?
No, I guess not.
Why do you think it's important to tell your life story?
Well, I suppose other people would like to know how I spent my life and stuff like that. That's about it, I guess.
All right. Are there any other thoughts or observations you'd like to share with us?
I don't think so.
Well, thank you so much for doing this with us.
Okay.